We got 3 pieces here to accompany a moon trip. All of them in French. Some of them with that French audio, it's kind of hard to decipher. But I'd rather die before using those titles that crawl along the bottom. First one, Impossible Voyage. Another one by Melis. Mile, take it away.
Proper audio additions are needed to the restored video. Original imagery contained an exhilarating soundtrack that truly added to the excitement. In viewing, it is recommended that you overlay the two in order to obtain true potential. The film is an epic version of the moon trip. Méliès certainly made a trip to the moon as a tester of his skills and audience approval. After its success, he made a longer version with even crazier effects. It starts with a gathering of intellectuals and a proposal for a trip to the sun. It then fades to a working area where a ship is presented to a group of wealthy-looking individuals. Then the journey begins on a train that ends up, after some adventure on the way, flying off into the gaping pie hole of the sun that then burps up a little bit of fire and flame. After some hijinks on the surface of the sun, involving the mastermind freeing his cohorts from a block of ice, the gaggle falls back to Earth, splashing into the ocean. Their ship, now transformed to a sub, travels to the sea, only to be blown up, blasting our heroes into a quaint town where they are celebrated with a parade. Now, if that story doesn't remind you of a certain classically faked moon landing, then I don't know what will.
It was very interesting, Mile. Next one's mine, Puro. Here we go. This video follows Pierrot, or, as Godard lovingly titles him, Fio Perot, and the woman whose presence guides his every action. Her name is Marion, a girl who is, at least on the surface, not so Fio. Before we break out of our adult world and into what Roger refers to as the Godard world, things are strange. And strange not only within the context of the story, but strange within the context of the video's attributes as a whole. We begin with a montage of sorts strung along by some wordy narration which, as I mentioned earlier, I have yet to decode. Pierrot is characterized as sparsely as all involved parties could manage. He sits in a bathtub and reads. He sits on his bed while his wife throws clothes at him. He has a young daughter who runs circles around their meticulously decorated room. We continue to follow Pierrot through this montage as he walks across white walls, eyes ahead. The walls frame with nothing short of deliberate surrealism, couples staring ahead with equally dead eyes. One pair features a round America man who questions a young French girl about Pierrot's ramblings as he intrudes upon their scene. There's a naked lady in another one. Then colors begin flashing. There's a red room, a yellow, blue, etc. Pierrot's first active bit of movement towards the call to venture. A strikingly beautiful lady walks down the hallway opposite the camera. Marianne locks eyes with the married man Pierrot, and Pierrot follows suit. Will the drama that unfolds document our hero's descent from his dim life as a family man into one of debauchery, perhaps guided by this mysterious hallway girl? The viewer's mind obviously begins to whir. Put in contact with the slower videos of the time, such as Truffaut's thing about skin. It's not about the picture to expect a drawn tale through a dipped style. Compiling the most valuable assets from a work like this has proved one of the trickier tasks, here in France. For every moment I return to Pierrot, I simply cannot pick apart its technicalities. I am struck with only the carefree attitude of its very fabric. Though the action from scene to scene is clearly deliberate and videoed with a talented hand, there is something beneath all of that that punches me right in the guts. Be it the way that our characters climb fallen trees for the express purpose of flinging themselves to the ground moments later. Be it the America military costumes they slowly acquire over the course of their travels. It's all frankly bizarre. It does not correspond to Susie's humor references in the slightest. Neither can I find any corresponding relation to the Table of Melancholy, yet I still smile, and I still shed tears. Slunka couldn't make it, so let's just go ahead and skip over this one. You guys get it. Alright, we've agreed upon Moontrip. We know that one's good, that one's, keeping.
Yeah.
So why do we need Impossible Voyage with it?
Well, I think that if Moontrip was such a great video, that Impossible Voyage just has to be added to that, because it's the same thing, except it's just done even more. There's more hijinks, there's more adventure. It's the perfect epic.
But do you think they need to be together?
I don't think the videos necessarily need to be together, but if you agree on the Moontrip, then why not agree on an Impossible Voyage?
I feel like we need some diversity there, because we've all agreed on Moontrip. We can't really go back on the paperwork on that. That one's already being processed and everything, and I just feel like we could, use a little more diversity in the collection,
Yeah, but I think it is diversity in that Impossible Voyage is a video that diversified Moontrip. It did more, it did extra, it did more than the Moontrip.
But don't you think having something from a different era in the history of this town would give you a better picture of the whole people as a whole?
I suppose it might.
Because this is another video from Melaise. Right?
Sure.
Melaise.
Melies.
But why do we need two by this guy?
I just feel like this video would be a great addition to our collection, and that it's already something that we've agreed is good.
It's already something we've agreed is good.
Well, the style and the story.
If you could only see this Pierrot movie, though, it's got this factor, this je ne sais pas,
Well, why don't you explain it to me?
Okay, so this is from what I can only imagine is years down the line from when Moontrip came out, but it's got the same kind of sense of weirdness going on. But it's not like any of the other comedies that we've seen, the past few months. It's got this strange humor that I've never seen anything like. And I just feel like if we miss that, that'll be a key part of this town that we'll just be missing, because we have too much of the olden times.
From reading your report, though, I saw it didn't quite understand everything that was happening.
That can be remedied with some of the audio things, but we all can agree upon the title crawls. Good.
I will agree with that.
I'd rather die, as I said earlier. I'd rather die than use this.
Yes, the title crawls are quite a hindrance to the video.
But even without them, I could still kind of figure out what was going on, and it was just so visual.
But the great thing about the Impossible Voyage is that it's completely visual. You don't need any title crawls. There's no speaking involved.
That's true. I feel like there's advantages to both, and to really get a conclusion, we would need a third party.
I agree.
And that's why I've invited in our friend,
I am Dale O. Clearly, the train in station video is the most important of the three. It evaluates It elevates the form and transcends the artistry of the other two by landslides.
Hold on. Wait.
Silence! The train video in the final word. I command processing to begin by the end of the cycle finale.